Good day, fellow learners. This is your mentor, your fact check buddy, Ray Gapus, joining you straight from Tokyo, Japan. And it's 2 degrees here in Japan, so it's a little cold. But I'd like to highlight certain things for all of you guys. That's why we are still recording for our YouTube channel. And this is for case number 32. So before we get to start, I'd like you to join us in this mission. Our goal is to provide free NCLEX RN application and review to at least 100 nurses. And to help us achieve this, just watch and finish the ads in our videos. And if you share this video to at least 10 of your friends, we will definitely pray for your success that will shut down the exam at a minimum number of items of 85 and be an 85er, the Ray Gapos way. So before we get to start, do you remember the lady who sent the feedback in the last video we had right after doing her test? And she was just telling us that she's amazed because those things that came out from her first item up to the 150th item were all covered in our Quick Fix program. That's the 3-day, 24-hour review program that I conduct at Ray Gapos building in United Nations Avenue, Manila. So here's the good news. She actually sent me this, and actually she sent it early in the morning. It's at dawn. Sir, good morning. I would like to share po, I passed the NCLEX exam last January 13, 2025. Kahit umabot po ako ng 150, sir, okay lang po. Maraming salamat po, sir. Maraming salamat at napakagaling at napakaganda po ng review center ninyo. And God heard her prayer. So, just believe and listen to what I'm going to highlight today, and you'll be the next one to pass your test. So, congratulations to Anna Macy Fesarit, USRN, from St. Paul University Dumaguete, Illinois, for passing the next generation NCLEX for the State Board of Illinois. So, we actually have a promo. Get a free review from us if you process your NCLEX RN application with ITAPS Gapus. That's the official processing services arm of the Ray A. Gapus review system. And I'd like to make this advisory. That's me, Dr. Ray A. Gapus, and the mentors of the Ray A. Gapus review system are not part of another center named Gapus Review or Gapus Review Academy. If you want to enjoy the high quality review program of the Ray Gapos system, you have to look for my full name. It's Ray A. Gapos Review System. Without Ray, it's not the same. Okay? So I'll see you in my class. On to our case number 32, and we're going to talk about laryngotracheobronchitis. Now, sometimes LTB, in short, is mistaken as it could be potentially related to respiratory syncytial virus, or symptoms are associated with or confused with clients with epiglottitis. Now, what are the similarities and differences? First and foremost, your laryngotracheobronchitis, otherwise known as CRU, presents with a characteristic barking cough or seal-like cough, while epiglottitis doesn't have a cough. And usually, RSV, the main sign is wheezing, because in RSV, the lower airways, the bronchioles, are inflamed. Another key difference would be the causative agent. Your RSV and laryngotracheobronchitis are viral infections, whereas your epiglottitis is a bacterial infection. It usually affects the epiglottis, the flap that covers the windpipe. So, on to our important concepts related to laryngotracheobronchitis. And here we go. So, LTB is a viral infection that causes inflammation and narrowing of the upper airways, leading to respiratory distress, particularly in young children. Usually, those who are affected are from age 6 months to 3 years. And pay particular attention that the symptoms of this condition usually worsen at night. So it's a viral infection that affects young children from 6 months to 3 years of age. So LTB is characterized by, remember, L, T, and B, okay? So laryngeal inflammation, throat soreness, and barking cough. And this usually comes with stridor, a high-pitched wheezing sound, including hoarseness, fever, and difficulty breathing, especially when inhaling. Now, all of this usually gets worse at night. Okay, so it is primarily diagnosed by clinical assessment, or a neck X-ray may show a characteristic stipple sign, meaning there's a narrowing of the airway, indicating narrowing of the subglottic region. In some cases, viral culture or PCR testing may help in the diagnosis. Now, what's the priority nursing diagnosis for laryngotracheal bronchitis? It's usually impaired gas exchange, and this is related to the airway obstruction secondary to the inflammatory reactions that occurs in the airway. So definitely you'll have to check the arterial blood gas values of the client. And because of the impairment in the gas exchange, this could potentially be associated with labored breathing, stridor, and of course, decreased oxygen saturation. Now, what are our priority nursing interventions for clients with laryngotracheal bronchitis? Remember, the code is STEAM. So first and foremost, you put the patient on semi-Fowler position, and then you administer oxygen in order to facilitate the ease of breathing. And because this is an inflammatory condition, treatment would usually involve administration of dexamethasone to reduce airway inflammation and swelling. And then epinephrine is usually administered through nebulization to reduce the swelling. And of course, since this is an inflammatory reaction, it comes with fever. So acetaminophen is usually given to the client, or ibuprofen. And of course, monitor the client's respiratory status. So once again, the code is STEAM. STEAM. Okay. Now, before we use the concepts we discussed in order to address the issues in case number 32 for this video, allow me to share with you some of the nice feedbacks from our readers who are using NCLEX 311, the next generation quick fix edition. So from a passer, I asked which book helped you the most, and she says 311, the new one, and she says parang kopya, ha ha ha. Okay, so she's saying that it's like some of the concepts in the book were copied, not me copying from NCLEX, but maybe, I'm saying maybe, they're basing some of those concepts or questions that they have. And I'm proud to say that there's no book that contains the herbal remedies found in NCLEX 311, like Mahawang and Diwang, and you can only find it in this book. There's no other book, but a lot of test takers are saying they found questions related to those herbal remedies from the book, okay? And of course, one of those who commented on that post says, totoo po ito, so this is true, parang copy-paste. It's like copy-paste. Na-reword lang yung mga iba. So what she's saying is practically some of the questions were just reworded. Okay, I just hope you'll have an experience the same as these two interacting ladies who passed the test on their first try. Get a copy, grab a copy, give us a ring, and we'll reserve one copy of the book for you. Okay, so here's case number 32. A mother brings her 15-month-old child due to high fever and slight cyanosis. Okay, the mother also describes the child's cough as harsh, loud, and dry cough in short bursts. So pay particular attention to the description. The cough is harsh. So definitely you'll have to rule out epiglottitis. You don't have this type of symptom in epiglottitis. And the cough is loud, dry, and it comes in short bursts. So this is what we describe as seal-like cough or barking cough. So once you get to see that specific symptom, seal-like cough or barking cough, you only have to think of one thing. That could be cru or laryngotracheal bronchitis. So let's try to figure out how this condition is described in this case. So is it one, respiratory syncytial virus? Now, this is also a viral infection that leads to inflammation of the airways and the lungs. However, you don't have barking cough or seal-like cough in RSV. And usually, those who are affected with RSV are those children below 2 years old. They would usually present with nasal congestion and wheezing because of the inflammation of the airways. And Remember, your RSV could potentially progress to pneumonia. So epiglottitis, we have to rule this out because you don't have coughing in epiglottitis. Usually, the patient could also have fever because this is bacterial infection, but they don't have the barking or seal-like cough. So definitely between laryngotracheobronchitis and bacterial pneumonia, I know. We've discussed this a while back. So the best answer for this case is number 3, laryngotracheobronchitis. Okay, there you go. So the answer, be laryngotracheobronchitis. Okay, so join our hundreds and thousands of passers from all around the world, coming from 36 countries and counting. Join us, give us a call, and we're gonna be happy assisting you with our learning tools published by world-class publishers. And of course, we have our learning management system that comes with our bundled program. The most important thing is we have our own technology and we keep our class to a comfortable number per group. And I'd like to invite you to join us in the NCLEX RN Flex, the most flexible test prep class for the NCLEX RN. Your choice of live face-to-face class, live virtual class, on-demand unlimited video recorded lessons, plus my 3 best-selling books, and of course, our QBank and learning management system, plus you have the opportunity to join me live at the Ray Gapus building in UNA Avenue, and our fee starts at $3,499. You heard it right. All of these with a very, very affordable, practical, very, very pragmatic value of $3,499. So once again, this is your mentor, your fact check buddy Ray Gapus saying, I'll see you in my next video.